Hello, this video provides our AGM with a summary of our activities over the 2014 to 2015 year and up to the present. The downturn in the mining industry, and in particular mineral exploration, continued during the year. For example, mineral exploration expenditure in Australia in the March 2015 quarter was approximately $400 million, having dropped over 60% from its high of over $1 billion in the March 2012 quarter. It is a remarkable achievement that despite the downturn, DET CRC currently anticipates exceeding its original budgeted revenue of $49 million by about $12 million. During the year, we were awarded significant new funding, most notably from the South Australian Government. We will receive $2.7 million cash from the Geological Survey of South Australia, Minotaur Exploration and Kingston Resources to support the Mineral Systems Drilling Programme. The Premier's Research and Industry Fund awarded us $600,000 to support work on the coiled tubing drill rig, and the Mining Industry Participation Office awarded us $350,000 for our project on the real-time drill site. In addition, CSIRO contributed $250,000 to the Labbit Rig Futures project. New funding is a boost to research, but I hope that the message that comes from this AGM video is that we remain 100% focused and on target to deliver on our three-pillar technologies of coiled tubing drilling, downhole petrophysical sensing, and top-of-hole geochemical and mineralogical sensing. DET CRC's executive team has remained stable during the year, and it's been a great pleasure to work with our CFO Ian Hardwick and our three research programme leaders, Soren So, David Giles and Brett Harris. I think the executive team, and more broadly the approximately 100 contracted researchers, are highly focused on their respective projects, and that we all understand how we fit into delivering DET CRC's vision of the future of mineral exploration. We have remained faithful to the priorities established in the Science Steering Committee's Phase 2 funding allocation of mid-2013, especially the three pillars. This consistency is critical to developing and maintaining our common focus across the DET CRC. Robbie Rowe joined the team during the year as Manager Research Integration. He has invaluably strengthened the coordination of our technology deployments in field drilling programs and assisted our push to commercialise new technologies.
As always, our key communications event for the year is our annual conference. We had over 150 delegates attend our conference in 2014 in Hahndorf in South Australia, and over half of those were from industry or end users. The conference also included a logistically challenging, whilst drilling, demonstration of our wireless sub, our downhole autonomous sonde, and our top-of-hole Labbit rig. The Program 1 team also provided a demonstration of our coiled tubing drill rig. There is no communications measure that better illustrates our progress than people seeing our technology live, in action, on a drill site. We produced 4 quarterly editions of Explore, our e-news over the reporting period, and hope that you still enjoy receiving this content. We also introduced a confidential, sponsor-only 2-page technical brief on seismic imaging at Rex Minerals' Hillside deposit. This technical brief was received well by our sponsors, and we intend to produce more of these on our project work in the coming year. 6 new videos were uploaded to DET CRC TV during the reporting period. These continue to be a great way of communicating. Our views in total now have reached over 19,000. One of our key communications activities for this year, and indeed into next, is the production of a 10-episode video series on the Mineral Systems Drilling Programme. The first 4 episodes of this series will be released at our upcoming conference in the Swan Valley in Western Australia. We produced 2 press releases over the reporting period, the first being the commercialisation of the AutoSOM by Boart Longyear, and the second on the Mineral Systems Drilling Programme. Both of these releases were widely picked up, particularly by trade press publications. At a more detailed technical level, we now have 859 reports loaded onto Centric, our project management system, and we continue to send out a monthly summary of these reports to make life a little easier. Good communications are vital to an organisation such as DET CRC. We're spread across different institutions, different disciplines, and indeed different countries. We range from small to large organisations that span over research institutions, industry and government. We've developed an effective and consistent communications portfolio and a strong brand. Input from our partners is critical to an effective communications strategy. So if you have any further ideas that you'd like to pass on, feel free to get in touch.
In the absence of Caroline Forbes on maternity leave, and as someone previously heavily involved in DET CRC's education program, and now keeping a close eye on it as a sponsor, I'm delighted to provide this update. DET CRC has achieved its ambitious target of enrolling 50 postgraduate research students, with 52 commencements and so far 11 completions. 52 postgraduate research projects represent a major contribution to DET CRC's research. In addition to the postgraduate research students, there have also been 61 honours students and 14 coursework master's students complete projects on DET CRC related topics. The focus is now on ensuring that the large cohort of enrolled postgraduate students are successful and that we hit our target of 40 postgraduate research completions. The Education and Training Committee reviews student progress quarterly, and we run a voluntary student mentoring scheme. We also award a $3,000 completion bonus to students when their PhD theses have been accepted to help encourage completion. Around 80% of our research students have industry or end user co-supervisors. The mineral exploration industry into which they will move will benefit from our students' industry focus due to their involvement in our applied research and through their enhanced interaction with industry personnel within the CRC. Finally, the Brakunga facility continues to be well used for vocational training. The VET programs run by our affiliates, the Australian Training Alliance and Training Prospects, have now had 407 driller trainees utilise the facility.
I'm again pleased to report that our financial position remains sound and that we are tracking well ahead of our original Commonwealth targets. As Richard highlighted earlier, we've secured an additional $3.85 million of cash funding during the reporting period, principally for the Mineral Systems Drilling Program from the Geological Survey of South Australia and affiliates Minotaur Exploration and Kingston Resources. Cash receipts are now $11.4 million ahead of the original Commonwealth agreement of $35.2 million to this stage, largely due to new sponsors, drilling programs and South Australian government grants. In-kind contributions are also well ahead of the original Commonwealth agreement, a result of our strong engagement with the service sector participants and affiliates. Sound governance is provided by our audit committee, and our independent auditor Ernst & Young has again signed an unqualified audit opinion on the financial statements. Turning now to a summary of our commercialisation activity. We've made some great progress since the last AGM, with 5 licence agreements completed in that period. Licences executed include 2 key pillar technologies, those being the Total Count Gamma Autosonde to Port Longyear and the Labbit Rig version 1 to IMDEX. A commercialisation proposal from Port Longyear for the wireless sub has been accepted by DET CRC's board, and we hope to execute a licence for this in early 2016. And finally, we've taken steps to protect IP where appropriate and now hold 8 patent applications, 2 registered designs and 3 trademarks. I expect another busy year ahead as we execute agreements for the wireless sub, make further commercial offerings associated with the Autosonde, shuttle and Labbit Rig fluids, whilst also continuing discussions and preparations for future offerings, most notably the CT rig.
Our most important outcomes are those related to research. Our top 10 research outcomes for 2014 and 2015 are as follows. We have commenced design and fabrication of the version 3 coiled tubing drilling rig, the Rocksplorer. This is anticipated to be the final prototype, and its design incorporates next generation steel tubing with increased fatigue life. We have completed over 300 metres of coiled tube drilling at Brakunga, with penetration rates consistently of 500 millimetres a minute. We have achieved dramatic improvements in bit life in percussion coiled tube drilling trials. We used a single bit in a 110 metre hole with no appreciable signs of wear. We achieved consistent 500 millimetre a minute rates of penetration using full-face diamond bits in hard abrasive granites. This is about a 500% improvement on our initial full-face diamond bit trials. We have built and tested a new spectral gamma sensor for the autonomous shuttle. The sensor incorporates new high-performance scintillometers and solid-state photomultipliers. The sensor should deliver potassium, uranium, thorium, as well as density and average atomic number. Cuttings returns experiments in the laboratory and at Brakunga have identified a suite of optimal operating specifications, notably particle size distributions and fluid flow rates that will inform the design of the Labbit rig for coiled tube drilling. We've made significant steps towards next generation Labbit rig technologies, including lodging a patent on automated mineralogy from XRD, AutoMin, lodging a patent on part per billion sensing of gold using optical methods, and ruggedising the fluid management system and deploying it at the Mineral Systems Drilling Program. Novel seismic processing techniques and joint inversion of MT and seismic data from the Kavitsa case study have yielded high-resolution geophysical images of the subsurface. The 3D imaging was dramatically improved by calibration with borehole data. The AutoSonde and Labbit rig version 1 were successfully trialled in a 14-hole, 2,800 metre drilling trial with Geoscience Australia and the Geological Survey of Victoria. The wireless sub and the Labbit rig version 1 were successfully trialled in a greater than 800 metre deep hole in collaboration with Anglo American. In August, we commenced the Mineral Systems Drilling Program. The Mineral Systems Drilling Program is a greater than $7 million cash and in-kind project in collaboration with the Geological Survey of South Australia, Kingston Resources, Minotaur Exploration, Imdex Limited, Bort Longyear and numerous research providers. All 68 Commonwealth milestones as set in the government agreement and due to date have been met. Of our more detailed internal quarterly milestones, as at the 30th of June 2015, 1,296 have fallen due and 1,177 or 91% have been met. It is undoubtedly the success of research and testing undertaken to date that has resulted in DET CRC's growing funding, despite the continuing industry downturn.
The DET CRC has sought to go beyond this test facility at Brakunga and test its technology in real-world drilling campaigns. The most significant of these programs to date is the Mineral Systems Drilling Program, currently taking place in the Southern Gawler Craton in South Australia. This 7,000 metre drilling program began on July the 31st, 2015 and has seen the deployment of the wireless sub, AutoSonde, Labbit rig and Labbit rig fluids. It will also see the deployment of the Auto Shuttle, real-time drill site project and seismic for hard rock exploration. The Mineral Systems Drilling Program represents a major commitment by DET CRC with the aim of testing technologies on modern drill platforms in a real-world environment, pulling technologies through to a commercialisable stage development and promoting DET CRC real and tangible research outcomes. Of the 2,700 metres drilled to date, the first generation wireless subs have been tested for in excess of 700 metres. The autosonde for 2,200 metres and the Labbot rig for 2,300 metres. These deployments have generated many learnings for the research groups and we believe have been invaluable into taking our technologies closer to commercialisation.
In closing, I should mention the government's review of the CRC programme that was completed during the year and had numerous worthwhile recommendations. I remain confident that the review will not affect funding of the current 2010 to 2018 term of DET CRC. The review and subsequent discussions have, however, been clear that there will be no extensions or renewals to existing CRCs. I support this position, and DET CRC's focus has always been on delivering what it promised within its 8-year lifetime rather than perpetuating itself as an organisation. If the sponsor and research participants of DET CRC wish to develop a new mineral exploration related CRC post-2018, we will be happy to facilitate that process, and indeed we will initiate discussion on such in the coming year. Initiatives such as Uncover, the government's new METS Industry Growth Centre, and indeed DET CRC's strong reputation with the CRC programme may lay the foundations for a new mineral exploration related CRC post-2018. While the board and the Science Steering Committee will discuss the potential for a new CRC, management and researcher focus remains very firmly on the 3 pillars of our research. I couldn't be happier with what DET CRC has achieved to date. With over 2 years to run, we have taken 2 of our 3 key technology pillars, from ideas to drawings to lab tests to prototypes to Bracunga tests to refinements to field drilling tests and to signed commercialisation agreements. However, we are far from complacent. There is a great deal of research, testing and commercialisation work to be done in the next 2 years across all 8 of our projects. Our successful downhole and top-of-hole sensing technologies will produce valuable productivity gains with conventional drilling, but combined with coiled tubing drilling, they will revolutionise mineral exploration. Sponsors will benefit from being at the front of that revolution in terms of both productivity gains and acreage selection in a changed world of mineral exploration. In these challenging times for mineral exploration, I want to thank our participants and affiliates for their continuing support. I can only imagine how difficult it must be to maintain funding for DET CRC, and I can assure sponsors that we're doing all we possibly can to deliver what we promised within our 8-year lifetime and to repay with interest the support of sponsors. I must also thank the fantastic team of DET CRC researchers and management and the support provided by our board. I look forward to seeing many of you at our annual conference next week and discussing DET CRC matters in much greater detail there.